Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we react to RWBY Volume 4, Chapter 6, Tipping Point. As with my other RWBY reactions, this video will only include me, so if you would like to follow along, which I recommend, I would click here. It will take you to the video on Rooster Teeth's YouTube channel, so just click it and sync it up with me, and we'll be good. So as you might have noticed, it has been a while since I've done a RWBY reaction or a Let's Watch RWBY, and to differentiate those really quick, Let's Watch RWBY is like my typical Let's Watch format like you'd see in Let's Watch Death Battle, where I have the episode of like Death Battle or RWBY playing on the screen along with my reaction, whereas RWBY reactions are just me and you have to do the syncing. Cool. Differentiation that I have come up with myself, so it doesn't matter if the terms are like the same. Anyway, point is, you might be wondering why it's been so long since I've uploaded either of those. And basically, it's just because I got frustrated with Rooster Teeth as a company and I decided to take a break from it. What was happening was my Let's Watch RWBY videos, again with, you know, my reaction and the actual, like, RWBY episode, they kept getting globally blocked. So like not only monetization claimed, which I expected and I totally allow, cause yeah, but they would completely block the videos too, and not every time, but just like randomly. So I would have some Let's Watch RWBY episodes that were just fine, and some that apparently violated guidelines, and I don't know, because speaking of guidelines, you know, they set up reaction guidelines, and to my knowledge, I followed them all. So I don't know what was wrong, but the issue is, like, yeah, they kept getting globally blocked, so I would like send an appeal, you know, to have them like take that back so it would be public again. And then it would be the case where it's like they, you know, one time I think they reviewed it and they said it was okay, and then another time, and then a time after that they reviewed it and then said that their claim was still valid. So I just had no idea what was going on, because it didn't seem like an automatic thing, because it said that they reviewed the claim and my appeal and everything. But even if you say, oh, just because it says they reviewed it, they're so busy they probably just like saw it, clicked, still valid. That's still a reason to be frustrated with Rooster Teeth as a company. So basically, I was just frustrated. Could I have done RWBY reactions, which is just me, not including the RWBY episode? I totally could have. However, I just didn't want to. Like, it bummed me out, it got me out of the RWBY spirit, and so I was just kind of done with it for a while, so I took a long break. And now I believe RWBY Volume 4 is already over, so let's get back into it, because I know that a lot of people have been wanting these episodes. So for those of you who are curious about where I've been, that's what it was. Now, given that it has been a while, I've definitely forgotten some things, and I don't know what I've forgotten, because then I wouldn't have forgotten them, of course, you know, but I'm just sure that I've forgotten things because, yeah, a lot of time has passed. The last kinds of things that I remember are that, like, you know, Crow spoke to Raven, like they met at the second floor of an inn or whatever, and Raven is not a great person. It seemed like she was in charge of kind of like a group of bandits that, you know, like destroyed that one village that Team Ranger, is that what they're going with? Team Ranger stumbled upon that one time. So that wasn't great. You know, it doesn't bode well for Raven's character, or for the other characters themselves for that matter, their safety and whatnot. So that kind of thing happened, and I guess Raven herself was looking for something, I don't remember what. I think Crow might have known where it was, but he didn't say, that sort of stuff. And then I still don't know what's up with the farm boy yet, but you know, he like looked in the mirror and I'm pretty sure he saw Ozpin, so that's the thing. And then there was the whole bit about Menagerie Island, where Sun and Blake went there and they met Blake's parents and everything, and you learned that Blake's dad is currently, I'm pretty sure at least currently, the chief of that island, but before that he was the leader of the White Fang. So yeah, and then two White Fang guys visited and they're like, we're good, we promise, bad things happened, you know, that kind of thing. But then as they're walking away, they're like, we have an evil plan, you know, just, so they're like not very subtle, they're just kind of outright bad. I don't know what they're planning exactly, but it's nothing good, I'm sure. So that's the majority of what I can remember. And then there was the whole, of course, the whole thing with Yang and how she's like getting over her whole lack of arm thing, and she has a robot arm. And I personally thought that I didn't like how they went over it, how they had her recovering, you know, with the joke that her dad made that I think totally should have crushed her, and then she was okay with it. And I get that some relationships are just jokey like that, but to me, it was too soon, it was too personal, and in such a bad taste when it was said. But, you know, whatever. So I didn't like it, other people did, that's fantastic. Point is, that's what's happening in the series, so that's what we have to work with. And then, yeah, the bad guys are just kind of chilling, doing their own thing. One of them might be teaching another one how to control the Grim? Yeah, I was like, the Hollows, that's not right. So that might be a thing, and that's about all that's coming to mind right now. I still have seen or heard, as far as I'm aware, nothing about the silver eyes, you know, that like RWBY has, so that's gotta come into play at some point, but it hasn't yet. And yeah, enough with the rambling. With that, let's get to watching. Alright, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, play, and when I say play, you hit play, alright? So, 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, so here we are. Rooster Teeth First presents Rooster Teeth Animation Production. And done. Yeah, it really has been a while since I watched this show. I mean, because I think they took a break too, like the Rooster Teeth team. I think RWBY took a break midway through Volume 4. And even then, with it only being released once a week, you know, well, it's over now. Like, I skipped, or I missed 7 episodes, because this is episode 6, and I think there are 12. Anyway. Yeah, it's all just kind of weird. But, you know, I got caught up with college and everything again. I'm going through spring semester, and I have my other videos to work on. Salem, right? That was her name? I couldn't think of it before. It's still one of the worst parts of that, just Blake's, "Ah!" you know, just that face. Well, not just the face, but just like the whole animation and everything. It's just like awkward. By the way, yeah, so this is the 6th episode. 5 episodes in, RWBY, you know, like RWBY, that team, the original team, they haven't met up again. Oh, okay, all walking. It's been a lot longer than that. I don't know how long, but it's been a lot longer. Does it not show up on the map? Oh, okay. It looked like it, yes. Not the map! Not that survivors aren't more important, of course, but... Why don't they just, like, Naruto through the trees when they travel? It was a weird shot. I was expecting her to look up. Oniyuri. Okay. Me neither. Oh. Okay. We're not all together. Okay. Didn't work out that well. Hmm. Honestly, though, I feel like the structures are holding up surprisingly well for being, like, incomplete. Oh. 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 Sorry. I kind of figured she would know. Okay, how would you know that that was there? I mean, sorry, solemn part. What? Wait, did I miss something? Fair enough. So I wonder what Yuri means in this context, because doesn't Oni mean demon in Japanese? And I'm pretty sure it's not Yuri in the context of like Yaoi and Yuri, because that would be weird. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, she's singing. I'm like, why is this suddenly creepy? Seemed a little dark for a fundraiser, but hey, sure. Like I want to hear the rest of the song just to listen to the lyrics and be like, you know. But hey, now we know that she did in fact agree to do it. Or at least, however reluctantly. Oh, was he just giving her the eyes? Does she have silver eyes too? Is she like Ruby, or is that just a coincidence? I don't know. Like, I don't know if silver eyes, if the color is all that matters, or. Wait, I was gonna say, don't leave, I'm curious. Yes. Little thirsty my butt. I get it. Your name's Henry? You don't look like a Henry to me. Yeah, a lot of people did. Oh, okay. Oh, you're delightful, Henry. Oh, snap. What? No, go to that. Go to whoever was shouting. I want to know what that was about. She's drunk. Oh, he let go. Wait, what's why though? Where did that thing come from though? Oh snap, good. I'm glad he's taking her side. I'm glad someone is. He's still just walking around with his gun though. Oh, okay. I'll try to remember to talk about that then, after the episode's over. Oh. It's Insane Monkey Man. Yep. He is quite fast. I feel like she's at a disadvantage there with the weapon ranges. That wasn't what you were initially talking about. Fair. Okay. It's like he shot at the shield first. That wasn't even him dodging. RWBY, you just missed. Oh, wait. We do want that. The way she got knocked back, I'm like, wait, did that actually hurt? But you got the whole Thor thing, right? With Meow Meow. Huh, I am surprised, I will admit. Yes! Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting to see if it transforms. That's what I'm waiting for. Ow! Yeah, it did transform! So he does have that ability. Good to know. Thank you. Oh, I don't want it to end there, though. Well, that's a bummer. We'll just wait this out. It's the YouTube version, so I don't think it's long. Yeah. So hey, stuff happened. Haha. Waiting now. Okay, and now it's over. So now it is time to talk about it. Have you guys noticed, by the way, that I no longer specify how long each episode was because I don't need to anymore. I only needed to early on, and I think I did for a little bit after that, just stay consistent, but it was just because, the episodes were so short. Anyway, just because it's been a while since I've done this, I just thought I'd point that out. So, to talk about this episode, first, overall, I did like it. So, some things, I guess the first thing that I want to talk about is with the Weiss part at the party. I don't remember Henry. I don't remember that guy being introduced before, but I think that he is going to play a role later on, given his character design is more fleshed out than other designs. We actually got a name and everything, so even though he didn't take a lot of time in this episode, I'm just pretty sure he's gonna come back in future episodes. I don't know exactly how, but right now it doesn't seem like he's going to be like the savior, I could see him coming back and being a good guy if it were something for like redemption, if he really hadn't heard about Vale and all that, but he does seem a little bit sleazy. From the very first time he spoke, he kind of did, and then he started to get a little bit better, and then he kind of went back again. He started going toward the Neptune kind of area, where it's like cool, but sort of in that awkward way, and then you realize they're also nice, but then he kind of just backtracked with like, oh, I honestly don't know what's going on, I'm just here for the food and drink kind of stuff. Then, not that that made him a bad guy, but I definitely see why Weiss was all ticked off. Now, what I don't understand about this, the main reason I want to talk about this part, and it won't last that long, I don't think, is just because, yeah, she summoned that, like, ice boar. How did that happen? Because I don't think it was intentional. It didn't look to me like it was intentional. It looked to me, and so her father had her arms, she said let go, he let go as she was tugging, so she hit the ground, and then it just came up. Now, I'm pretty sure that with her powers, it's not like she's Buzz Lightyear and has buttons on her arm, and she accidentally hit one and summoned a boar. I don't think that she hit her funny bone and then summoned a boar. Why did she summon a boar, Because it just didn't seem intentional from her expression or anything. Not that she seemed, like, terribly surprised or upset that it was summoned, but it's like, I don't think that Weiss in that situation would actually try to attack a guest. Just because she disagreed with their viewpoint. And she strongly disagreed with it. She'll yell, shut up, about, across the room because they are just being douchey. But I don't think that she would purposely attack people. So, I don't think that the whole summoning thing was intentional, but then if it wasn't, how the bloody heck did that happen unless someone else summoned it in order to frame her? But the only people who can summon like that, to my knowledge, are the Schnee family. And so my only other guess would be the younger brother in order to spite her. That kind of thing, or set her up. So I have no idea. But that's just the best I have, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense to me, because it didn't seem like it was intentional. But how would it not be? Maybe it was a frame job kind of thing. That's my current thinking on that. And then I guess just to jump to something else, the guy at the end, even though I find him very monkey-like in his attributes and his craziness and his agility and whatnot, I think he's a scorpion? Yeah, because it seemed like his tail has a sharper point, and it seemed like it had like kind of the different sections, the bumps that you'd see in a scorpion tail. At first I was thinking he was still a monkey and it was just a monkey tail that was kind of like braided. I didn't know how that would work. I had no idea how that would work. I was questioning it, or that it just had tufts and I was misinterpreting it as being like bumps. And then the tail itself too was just fur grew out, happened to be in that kind of curve. But I think that he's a scorpion, Vanis. And I guess scorpions aren't insects, I'm pretty sure if I go back to my basic zoology course that scorpions are animals, not insects. So it's possible, but I would find it kind of weird. Like, I'm not going to complain if that is the case, but yeah. However, if he is a monkey or something of that sort, I will complain a little bit if his tail ever punctures somebody. Because unless we're going to pull an Albert Wesker and have him just stab through and say it's because they're so strong and everything, fur made into a point can't really, like, stab, I wouldn't say. That's just, I don't know, you know what I mean? So I'm going with scorpion for now, until further notice. But yeah, so he's crazy. That fight was interesting. Their fighting styles, like, it was kind of cool to see how his matched up against everyone else's. His, again, is that sort of unpredictable, up close, he's crazy, who knows what's gonna happen next, kind of style. And so, I personally liked seeing him most against, oh bugger, Ren. Okay, so that name had come to mind, but then I suddenly doubted myself. But it is indeed Ren. Yeah, I personally like seeing him fight most against Ren just because they both had, like, up-close weapons kind of thing. Because, you know, granted, Ruby's and Nora's weapons are both melee, of course. But, I mean, and Jean's too. But Ren's are actual just, like, the little blades. Basically, you'd have to punch someone or be within that kind of distance in order to hit them, and so did Monkey Man. I don't remember his name, and even I do think he's a scorpion. It's just kind of easier to say Monkey Man right now. So now you know what I mean by that. But we didn't get to see too much of it. And then I did think it was clever, how, you know, RWBY shot at the dude supposedly, but it hit Nora and everything. I was thrown off at first just because it looked like Nora actually got hurt, and I'm like, oh. But especially considering he hadn't dodged, he just, like, looked back and it missed him. But no, that was totally intentional, so good on them. That was good. Glad they remembered the electricity thing, because it took me a minute. Now, I remembered it before I saw the results of it, but still, it did take me a minute, and I was thrown at first. But I thought that was a clever way to do it. Now, when he says that he only has interest in RWBY, everyone just kind of, like, starts stepping in front of her. Okay, first off, RWBY is a strong, independent woman. Y'all don't need to do that. Second, though, yeah, like, them just moving in her, like, line of sight doesn't do a whole lot, considering that he is a purely melee person from all that they've seen, and they've seen that he's ridiculously fast and can jump and everything like that. So I don't know what their plan was. The smarter thing to do would be to back up to be beside RWBY, so, you know, strengthen numbers, because as soon as he gets past you when you're all, like, lined up like that, there's not really much you can do to help. Like, you can turn around and try to grab him or something, but that clearly didn't work out that well. So their line of defense just didn't work, and that's just a minor thing, but it was something that came to mind. Finally, it's good to finally see that Crow's power was revealed to be he could transform, you know, to a crow and back again, obviously, because that was stuff, like, I think I first had that idea at the end of Volume 3, I think. Or maybe it was the beginning of Volume 4. I'm not sure. Again, it's been a while since I've, like, seen things, and they all kind of meld together eventually. But it's nice that that's actually been confirmed. It was cool to see, and I'm glad to see, you know, good Uncle Crow just saving the day again, because I really do like Crow as a character, and it'll be nice to see more. And I'm assuming that next episode we get to see Crow fight Monkey Scorpion Man. So I'm looking forward to that, because Crow, again, one of the coolest people, I think, in this anime. I'm gonna call it anime. Just for that instance at least, and and so yeah, I just want to see him fight again. I think that'll be cool. Still want to know what Oniyuri means, because again, Oni means demon, Yuri, I don't know what it means outside of the Yuri Yaoi context. Oh, I was gonna say maybe it just means, like, twisted, but that would be hentai, was what, like, twisted perverted. So I don't know what Yuri means, but anyway, I'm just curious because it would be kind of cool if there was, like, a kind of hidden meaning behind the name of that town. Interesting to get a little bit more of Ren's, you know, backstory with that, because apparently his parents went there to help kind of settle that town, and I assume they died in the ensuing Grim attacks. But again, like, with how long that must have been, the structures held up really well. I mean, the buildings that looked the most complete, like, sure, the brickwork or whatever on the outside, it obviously had some damage to it, but then just when you have, like, just the beams, kind of just the skeletal structure, the skeletons, there we go, of the houses, or the buildings, they were holding up really well, it looked like. I mean, Nora was able to, like, jump up one and stand on it just fine. So you know, good on them. They have good construction technique and good tools to use, good resources with the wood and all that. Anyway, I just found it amusing. And then, yeah, just a quick question, as I asked before, why don't they ever travel kind of like in the Naruto style of like just jumping through the trees and all that? Or as we saw clear back in Volume 1, when they're, you know, like first being launched into the forest before they ever got into groups in the first place, you know, for their kind of trials, they were clearly able to travel. Like, we see Yang jumping along, and granted she's using her, you know, like gun gauntlets too, to propel herself further, but like they're clearly capable, and given their endurance with how much they train and just the you know, they're kind of super powered, right? Just kind of surprised they don't do that, because granted, Team Ranger is traveling a long time. However, they could just like travel really fast to get to the next village, and then like they could take the time they saved from walking to just rest. So it's kind of weird that they don't ever do that, because it seems like they're perfectly capable of doing that, and maybe they do that, but we haven't seen them do that as far as I recall. I suppose one reason they might not do that in the animations is because then it would make conversation between the characters a little more difficult, because then they'd all have to be leaping at like the exact same kind of like distance so they can actually still talk to each other. And maybe it's because then they couldn't read the map as well because they're actually jumping through trees or whatnot. But you could do all those things. You know, you could look at the map ahead of time. You don't have to be talking all the time as you travel, or again, you could just be jumping alongside each other. Anyway, that's just a thought that I had. Move on to something else. Let's see. I mean, I think I covered just about everything. Like, nothing else is really coming to mind. Weiss is all, like, obviously gonna have problems with her dad, because she ain't, she's not happy either, but he's definitely not happy with her. You see that glare? He's trying to maintain just the family face, you know? Like, the whole fundraiser wasn't even for Vale, it was just to save face for himself and the company, the family name and all that. So that kind of sucks, but you know, she played her part as far as singing goes, and she was being good until people are just being dicks about it all. And why are they even there? Like, it totally is just because they're rich and they go to parties and stuff, because why would you go to a fundraiser for something and then like badmouth that something? So I have to attribute it to that woman being drunk, but I don't know. What's going to happen though with Weiss and her father, I also don't know. Maybe she'll be kind of kicked out for a while, or maybe she'll be imprisoned, you know? Because, like, honestly, what would be worse for Weiss? I think it would be the sort of imprisonment, like, you know, you're perma-grounded in your room until I say otherwise kind of thing. But I'm still hoping at some point that the original Team RWBY, you know, with RWBY, Yang, Blake, and Weiss, I hope that they'll all get together again, at least by the end of this volume. I understand why they wouldn't, but I kind of hope that they do. Just because, you know, that's what we saw for, you know, 3 volumes, and it would be nice to have that again, because they were good friends, and, well, I mean, yeah. You know what I mean. Well, I think that's all that I have to say. Nothing else is coming to mind, and hopefully I don't regret ending it here. Because sometimes, yeah, like, I'll stop the recording, I'll edit the video, and then once I have it uploading and all of that, I'll be like, I didn't talk about this, you know, and then everyone in the comments will, like, ask me about it or mention that I didn't bring it up. But yeah, nothing's coming to mind, so I could either wait here forever thinking that something might, or I could call it. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., and so on and so forth. I personally enjoyed it. I look forward to the next one, especially seeing Crow fight, and I don't know what to expect really aside from that. Just building up. So with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!